Marcus, make a recommendation for Korematsu, put up a sign outside so people go, where do we go? I came here at 5:30 and there was no signs. I went to the gym waiting for them to get through with their basketball or whatever it was, volleyball.
Okay.
No one knew where.
We will make sure that happens.
Mostly for the parents
Yes. Mostly for us.
and for us.
Of course. Good evening and welcome to the second of 3 forums being sponsored by the League of Women Voters in West Contra Costa County and the West Contra Costa Unified School District. Tonight we'd also like to welcome 2 additional sponsors, the Contra Costa County Board of Elections and Contra Costa Television. Tonight the moderator is Myrna Lopez, a former Richmond City Council member, and we'll turn it over to our moderator for the evening.
Thank you, Marcus. The League of Women Voters is a trusted, nonpartisan political organization. The members do the hands-on work of safeguarding democracy. While they never endorse a candidate, they are directly involved in shaping the important issues to keep our community strong and informed. As a League of Women Voters member, I have the opportunity to continue in a leadership role, such as this one, that has a great impact on local, state, and even national issues. If you are interested in learning about how you can make a similar impact, I encourage you to pick up some of the League's information available here tonight or visit our Facebook page, a League of Women Voters of West Contra Costa County. League places an emphasis on voting, voter registration drives, registration in high schools, and efforts to streamline voter registration laws are all continuing part of League activities. Our Voter Guides, a publication providing nonpartisan information on candidates and ballot issues, is a part of every election and is distributed throughout the county by our West Contra Costa League. The League wants everyone to vote and be confident that their vote will count, and also wants voters to be informed. Throughout its history, 90-year history, the League has been a voice for sound government practices. This commitment will prevail in this century and beyond. I will be moderating this evening, and I am presenting the timekeeper tonight, Jennifer Dow. So we will start with opening statements by each candidate. And you have 1 minute. And we will start with Antonio Medrano.
Good evening, and thanks to the school for offering this room for us. I just recommend next time put up signs so people can find the place. I'm Antonio Medrano, former school board member, 2008 to 2012, a community activist, very involved in the community. So I've got that experience as a teacher also, 40 years in the classroom, my years on the school board, and community activism. We need to pay our teachers a decent wage. 2, we need total, complete transparency so that parents know where the funds are going. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Don Gosney. I'd like to be your representative on the school board. I'm going to ask you, who here thinks that our kids are getting the education they deserve? I certainly don't. I think we need to be able to change that. And one of the ways I think we can start is to getting our board to refocus their attention on educating our kids. You attend our school board meetings, we're talking about bond programs, we're talking about audits, we're talking about consultants, we're talking about everything but educating our kids. These are all important items. Are they as important as educating the kids? I don't think so. We need to refocus our attention where it belongs. Is we need to be able to bridge the divides that are separating our community. You've got the charters versus the anti-charters. You've got the north end of the district against the south end of the district, the flat land against the hills, the rich against the poor, the black against the pink, against the yellow, against the green. We're finding too many ways to separate our people, to divide them. We need to be able to bring ourselves together. And the key to do that, let's start talking to each other. What is your problem? What do you need? How can I help you? These are important issues that we need to be working on. We need to be able to also stop the exodus of our teachers and administrators.
Good evening. My name is Tom Panis, and I'd like to thank the district and the League of Women Voters for sponsoring this forum tonight. I've lived in West County for more than 40 years. This is my home. I went to school here, UC, raised a family here. My sons went through district schools, went on to Contra Costa College. I care deeply about our district, and I think we've got some work to do in our district. Every child deserves a great school. So what does that mean? It means great academic achievement for every student. It means great supports for teachers and families and students. It means we have a responsive, open, and transparent district, and we have safe schools. Strong schools will truly empower our community, and that's where I want us to go. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mr. Phillips. I am an attorney, educator, and parent. I want to thank all of you for putting this on today. This is a great thing for people to be able to come out and learn about the candidates and where they stand on the issues. Now, I have a vision for our district. I want every child to attend a safe school where they are engaged and able to achieve academically. I believe we can accomplish that if we focus on 5 things. The first thing is school safety. Second, student engagement. Third, academic achievement. Fourth, employee morale. And fifth, parental involvement. Over the course of this discussion, I hope to elaborate on each one of those things more, but thank you very much for your time.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Sorry, he said he was 12 back. We got it? Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Miriam Stephanie Sequeira. I'm a parent within the district. I have 3 children that attend Chavez Elementary. I've been an active parent for the past 7 years. I've been a school site council member for the past 6 years. The district local control accountability plan committee member for the past 3 years, and I've also been the co-chair of the multilingual district advisory committee for the past 5 years. Too many committees, but I've been actively involved. As long as I have a parent voice with any of the committee, you will see me actively involved to make sure that the parent voices is heard. There's so much needs that we see going on within the schools, and we as an expert of the parents of our children, we know what we need. And I believe that we need to focus more on the student achievement, the school climate of the schools, and the parent involvement, as well as transparency and accountability within the schools. Thank you.
Good evening. Is this on? No. Turn it on. No, we can't do it.
Seconds.
Hello? Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Carlos Taboada. I'm a retired teacher with 21 years experience in the district. I'm also the father of a child that attended our schools, and I'm the grandfather of one who will soon attend our schools. And I know firsthand what our teachers and our students need. We need caring teachers, small class sizes, actualized textbooks and technology, and most of all, safe schools. Our teachers need to be given the tools needed to do their job. The main theme in my campaign is let teachers teach. I think we need the autonomy to fashion, to tailor our instruction to meet the needs of the students in front of us. We have too many competing programs, too many institutions, organizations, philanthropic or not, pulling each in different directions. We need a district-wide vision that puts student performance and excellence in the forefront. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. I think we should just take one and pass. No, it's not.
Oh, yeah, wow. Oh, no, that's it. That's it. It's loud though. Good evening, everyone. My name is Deanna Young. I am running for school board because I am a vested parent.
Okay.
I'm a vested parent. I've been in the district for 35 years. This is my junior high school, so standing here almost makes me emotional because it brings back so many memories. But what I want, so who am I? I'm a lawyer, I'm a mother, I have 7 kids. 4 of them are still in the district, 3 of them have graduated already. And what I want to do here is make this the destination district. That means that people will want to come to this district because they'll be ensured that their child can get a quality education. And we can do that. How do we do it? We have to change our educational approach from remedial to one that is superior. And we can do that. The superior is math, science, with the arts. Arts will support math and science. And there's so much more that I can talk to you about what I want to do. I'm passionate about this district because I know that we can make changes. I do not want to hear any more that we can't. We don't have the money. I know that we can make changes if we work together and we are, our objective is to make sure that our schools, our children are educated. So hopefully I'll have more time to talk about that. Thank you.
I know that you have received our ground rules via email, but I'd like to share these with the audience and remind you of our ground rules. Please confine your remarks to your qualifications and issues without personal comment regarding your opponent. Matters of undisputed public record, such as vote, a public statement, a financial statement, a contribution or contributor, or anything which has bearing on how the person has conducted or will conduct him or herself in office, are acceptable subjects. The source of questions are the League of Women Voters. It is our policy to remain neutral and take no position during any forum. Therefore, we request that all candidates or speakers make no mention of any position taken by the League of Women Voters on any issue. The electronic devices are not permitted in the studio. Please put them on silent. No substitute may participate in place of the candidate, and space is limited, and so is time. So we will go through and keep strict time. So with that, we will start with our first question. If elected, you will be a new board member. What are your plans for the first 3 months when you start serving as school board member? We can start with Ms. Young.
Sorry, how much time do we have? 1 minute?
Oh, I'm sorry. You have a minute and 1 minute.
Okay. The first 3 months, I want to make sure that I go around to all the schools, meet the staff, principals, teachers, parents if I can, because I think that it's really important that we start talking to each other about what's going on in the district and how we can make changes. I think it's time for people to come together, put their minds together and work on this district so that we can turn it around instead of all the fighting over all of these different issues. So besides talking to the staff, to the parents, then I just want to get down there and start working. I am a part of the African American parent group that is from the district, and when we got in there, we started working. We didn't say we're going to have these programs and they're going to take off in the next 5 years. No, we got there and we have programs that started just this month. So after a few months of getting in there to work, we have programs now for African American students in 10 schools. And so I want to start working right away to target the problems, but to really get on to support the superintendent now to really change the approach of education.
Mr. Tabois.
Well, the first thing I would do would be to inform all parents, teachers, and students that it is they who won the election, that it is they that are going to be sitting next to me. Then I would hold a meeting with principals and teachers too, and inform them that we plan to have an academic accountability immediately. I would have a survey of all existing programs and evaluate their objectives, and also, of course, assess their terminal efficiency. And I would also conduct a study of all idle plant and equipment in our district, because I plan to promote strongly, not only adult education, but career, technical, and vocational programs. And we have, I'm sure, several $1 million in unused plant and equipment that could be, that I know when I started 21 years ago was used by the students. Learning by doing is one thing I would tell them that I'm about. Thank you.
During my first 3 months of being within, if I get elected, would be more of educating myself, really going to the schools and understanding what the needs are within the schools, within the staff, the parents, and the student, as well as seeing that there's so much funding going on to the district, but as parents or community members, we don't have an open book to see what really is going on, what's being paid for. So it is trying to gain knowledge as to what is funding, where the funding going, what programs are we needing, what don't we need, how is the data proving that those services are really working for our families, for the staff, and for the students. But it's more on educating myself and getting to know the community before I move forward on any more plans.
One of the first things that I would do if elected is present a resolution to the board. And the resolution would prohibit members of the Citizens Oversight Bond Committee from taking campaign contributions from vendors. That's one of the first things that I would do. In addition to that, I would continue to move around the district, speaking with teachers, school staff, and administrators to make sure that we identify what their needs are. I've gotten an opportunity to visit multiple schools over the last few months. In fact, I used to teach in these schools as well as attend. But I would make sure that I met with our teachers, our staff, and our administrators to identify what their needs are so we can really focus on resolving some of the problems in this district.
So, as a new board member, the first thing I want to avoid doing is stepping on a lot of people's toes. I'm the chair of the CBOC, and so I've been fortunate to meet and work with a lot of the district staff, not so much with the staff out in the field. It's obviously important for me to meet with them, but I don't want to be out there like a bull in the china shop, destroying everybody's plans. So I'd be coordinating carefully with the superintendent when I was going out to sites, and I would be asking him for his opinion about what was important for him thought me to learn. Obviously, I'm a representative of the people who elected me, and I want to be completely accessible to those people, but at the same time, I don't want to be making a bad reputation for myself in my first 90 days.
Thank you. You know, first thing you got to do after an election, sit down with everybody on the board and say, hey, election's over with. Let's leave the politics outside. Because that's difficult to do because it's ingrained. There's a lot of push and shove right now. You know, I was born in this area. I went to school in this area. I've spent over 40 years working with or against the school district, 18 years with the bond program, almost 8 years with the bond oversight committee. There's a lot of things I already know about what's going on in the district, but there's a lot that I don't know about what's going on in the district. So it's going to take some communication. Sit down with staff, sit down with the communities, find out what do you need, what can I do? And then the next thing you do is find out how can we accomplish that? How can we take care of your needs? Because not only am I going to be responsible for the ones that voted for me, I'm responsible for everybody in the district. Because when I raise my hand and swear an oath, I'm representing everybody in the district, not just my loyal followers.
I would begin doing what I did back in 2008. I dedicated 2 to 3 days a week of visiting the schools, and especially sitting down with the parent groups that meet, sometimes on Fridays, sometimes on Thursday, depending on the school, and listen to them and ask them, what can we do to improve the instruction at your particular school? There were some schools that I went to who told me, we've never seen a board member before. And I was surprised. So sit down with them. Sit down with the teachers during lunchtime and just chit-chat with them. What's up? Is everything okay at your school? So talk to them like human beings.
Thank you. The second question, I'm going to try to alternate the first speaker. So Mr. Taboada, you will be next for the question number 2. And then followed by Ms. Cicada. There are many non-traditional charter schools opening in our district. What is your plan to make our traditional schools a viable and sustainable option for our students?
Well, I gather that the question is what is going to be the reaction of the position of our traditional schools with regards to charter schools. I think that we need to improve the quality of our teaching. I think that we are a school, we are an aggregate of over 60 schools. We are not a construction company, and we need to address specifically academic issues. We have great disparities between schools and within schools, between groups. We are saddled with a sad tradition of trying the same one-size-fits-all academic programs for all schools, regardless of the specific needs of each school and of different groups within that school. I think I would seek to so improve the academic excellence of our programs that we will be able to, I don't want to say compete because they are not competition, but to reduce the demand for charter schools. Thank you.
I think currently we don't sit down and talk to the parents as to why they're taking their students out. There's so many concerns that parents go through, or so many problems that they go through with their students, whether it be the classroom, whether it be the environment of the principal, whatever goes on academic-wise, that parents are leaving our district, and we're not sitting down with them to understand what is it that's really wanting to make you leave. We need to be able to understand what do we need to do to make this district a little bit better. Currently, we've been failing our parents. It's something I've been continually working on with the past 7 years, being involved as a parent to try to understand what the district is working for us, and I'm going to continue to work on. This is a long term for me. My youngest is 1 year old, and my oldest is barely a 6th grader, so it's not that I'm leaving anytime soon, but we need to understand what's really functioning for those families that are staying, what's not functioning for those, but we need to understand what the issues are within their district to make it better and to start understanding. We need to focus on the academics of this district, and we're not doing so.
As a former teacher and parent now in this school district and former student in this district, this is a very important question to me. There are 5 things that we can do to shore up our traditional public schools. Again, that's focus on school safety, student engagement, academic achievement, employee morale, and parental involvement. Student safety is very simple. If the kids don't feel safe, they're not going to go to school. Student engagement is simple as well. If they're not engaged, they're not going to stay. That will contribute to truancy, dropout rates, and just children checking out mentally in class, which is not a good thing. As far as learning is concerned, that's what we should be prioritizing. This is a school system. Employee morale, we can't have a high-functioning district unless we have high-functioning teachers and staff. And finally, parental involvement. Parents are the first teachers, and the district has to make sure that it incorporates us, because I am a parent, in the education of our children. Thank you.
If we want our kids to come back, we need to have great schools. So what does that mean? So we've got great teachers, we've got dedicated teachers, but we're not giving them the supports they need. How do we get them the supports they need? We need to work with the parents, and we need to work with the teachers every year on the LCAP, find out what the issues are at every school, and work with the school site council to use LCAP funding to get us where we need to be. We need safe schools. No parent wants to send their child to a school that's not safe. We need to make sure that we get rid of bullying, harassment, discrimination, and we need parents to know that we've stopped feeding the school to prison pipeline. We also need to make sure that we're providing every option we can in terms of compensating our teachers and looking for creative ways to help them with the cost of living we have around here. So those are the things I would be focused on.
I hope you appreciate that I actually listened to the question. The question didn't have anything to do with how are we going to make our schools better. It had to do with, what, as a board member, what can I do to make the charter schools more viable and sustainable? Most of our charter schools are not responsible, not answerable to our district. Not only is it outside of our purview to do anything with them, It's just, they won't let us do anything with them. We have no control or say over those schools. Their sustainability is up to the state, not us, because they did not get their charter through our school district, through our school board. But for those of them that did, we're going to work with them very closely to make sure that they are sustainable, that they do not fail. And I'm going to go reach out and try to talk to the charter school administrators to find out how we can partnership with them better than what we have been before. Because right now, we're just butting heads. There's no transparency. There's no open books. They're not responsive. They're not answerable to the community. I said, that's got to stop. There was a bill on the governor's desk, AB 709, which he vetoed. I have no idea why the charters fought it so heavily. I said, openness and transparency is what we demand with our school board. We should have had that with the district or the charters as well.
The open transparency is really important. By state law, any group that spends public monies must have an elected board to oversee the expenditure of the funds. One day the state's going to wake up and realize that there's a body out there spending public funds without parent oversight. Our schools, we need to work on the culture, on the safety, parent involvement, and make it so exciting for students to say, I want to go back to Kennedy, it's the best school in the district. We need to push that and raise the academic standards for them. Thank you.
Can I have the question one more time? Sure. The question is, there are many non-traditional charter schools opening in our district. What is your plan to make our traditional schools a viable and sustainable option for our students?
Okay. All right, so what I want to do, I said this before, is change the educational approach. So right now we have one that's remedial, and so that we focus on underachievers and we unintentionally neglect everyone else. And so we need an educational approach that ensures that every child in the district is meeting their full potential, so we get them exactly where they are. We have a really good superintendent who has done that in the other districts he's worked with, and I really want to support him to make sure that we can bring his expertise to the schools so we can change the way that we teach students. We have to have math, science, and arts. We have to make sure that we can foster this education so that children will love learning again. That's not what's going on now. Until they love learning, or at least like it a lot, they won't feel safe at school. Because once you're safe in your security that you can learn, then you're safe, you feel safe at school. So if we change this educational approach, then we'll make sure that people will come to our schools and we won't have so many going over to charter schools.
Thank you. Third question. Many parents feel that there isn't a safe opportunity to voice criticism of the school district and that criticism be taken constructively. What will you do to include the parents' voices so that there is a transparent and accountable process? And we'll start with Ms. Cicada and followed by Mr. Phillips.
I think I can speak from my experience previously with the 5 years our old principal was, I was fearful of speaking up. I would attend district meetings that she would say, hey, can you go to? And I would gain knowledge. I'd understand how everything would work, should work with the school site councils, with the ELAC, but it was on my behalf of a parent saying, what happens if I speak up and something goes on with my children? Till I started finally getting away with that fear, but forming relationship with people up beyond just the school site, understanding staff within the district. And I don't think as parents, we're being taught to how to form a relationship with district staff, to be having that open communication. We don't understand how to file a complaint. Most parents aren't even aware of the complaint process, the uniform complaint process, the lack of the language barriers for some families. There's so many barriers to a parent to speak up, to not understand that you have support, and to feel intimidated. It is something that hurts us as parents, but it's just how do you feel comfortable speaking up? How do you have people that are district staff that hear you out and really are there to help you? We need to understand we're not there to attack the people, just the position.
As a parent in the district, this question is also very important to me. I am an attorney. I'm a civil litigator now, which means I'm an advocate. And I want to advocate for the parents who are in the district. I want to empower them and help them to have a voice because, like I said earlier, these are our children. And we as parents deserve and should have a meaningful role in the education of our children. I'm also a proud member of the PTA, and I plan to work closely with the PTA and other community and parent groups to make sure that parents have a voice on the board. Currently, there are no school board members that actually have children in this district. I think that adds to the reason that there's a disconnect between the district and parents. I believe that I have that perspective as a parent, and I hope to be the voice of parents on the board. Thank you.
Obviously, parents are an extraordinarily important constituency for us, and we need to make sure we're doing everything we can to reach out to them. That means considering having meetings at non-traditional times. It means making sure that we have childcare for all meetings. It means making sure we have proper translation at every meeting. We need to be sure that the parents get good education through Parent University or other ways about the different opportunities that are available to them, whether it's the school site committee or the ELAC committee, or for example in the CBOC, I had a person who I wanted to come on and she told me she was afraid to join the committee because of retaliation from possibly the staff at her school if she spoke out. So that's just wrong. We need to make sure that every parent feels welcome, and as a district, it's my job and the job of the district to make sure that every parent's input is valued.
As a board member, I can't control the other 4 board members. I can try to influence them, I can lobby them, I can work with them, but I can only be responsible for myself. As in, one thing that I will try to do is change the dynamic of the board so that people in the community feel that they can actually talk to board members, or at least this board member, because I'm going to listen to what they have to say. Make sure that my communication lines are open, that the phone numbers are available to them, email addresses are available to them, so that they can call with concerns or complaints and get a one-on-one exchange, as opposed to it being at the board meeting where you're talking for 90 seconds and you know nobody's paying attention. We just had a forensic audit, and as a last resort, they decided to allow public comments being written. I've already heard from several board members that they're not even going to bother to read them. What kind of communication is that? It's not intimidation, but it says that they don't care what the public has to say. I'm going to change that dynamic so that people can talk and they know that I'm going to be listening.
I work with a coalition of community organizations, First 5, Building Blocks for Kids, the Rice Center, etc. And we oversee the implementation of the local control funding formula. Part of our job was some of the parents are afraid to speak up. So we worked with them, and I went with them to school board meetings and stood by them and said, don't be afraid to speak in Spanish or English, whatever you want, but I'll be there next to you. And parents need that support. School site councils, parents have to be involved in the school site council because that's the body that decides how the funds are spent. If we train the parents well, they will speak up. We've seen evidence of that at some of the previous school board meetings.
So what will I do to encourage parents to speak up? Just that, I would make sure that I am available, readily available via email, phone. I know that when I had a problem with one of my kids or an issue, I could email the superintendent and he emailed me right back. So I would like to be open like that for parents. So if they can email me, I can email them back to let them know where they can go to get the information they need. As a lawyer, I'm also an advocate in the district. For parents, I go with them to IEP meetings and things like that because I was going to be a special ed teacher. And so advocating for parents is what I do. And I'm the type of person that I want to get people involved. And if you want people to come to meetings, make sure you feed them, make sure you have daycare. We need to make sure we do more of that. We need to get the parents where they are and really talk to them and respect them so that they know that they can say whatever they need to say with us and it will be respected and we will listen to what they have to say and do whatever we can to try to help them where they are. So I think we just have to be open to parents.
I think I think that we need to attack the issue from the district level, school board level, and at the school level. As a parent, I was always discouraged for the lack of opportunity to really have an input into the decisions that were made in the schools. I think that we need to inform parents that what it means to be a public school. They are the public, and the essence of our public schools is its democratic foundation. I would go along with what Mr. Medrano said. We have at every school a perfect and ideal instance where staff, teachers, students, and parents meet. That's the school side council. There is the school side council, there's the English Learners Advisory Committee, but I repeat, parents need to be informed of the opportunities and they need to be encouraged to participate. And we also need to make them aware, knowledgeable of our academic plans. Thank you.
Next question is sort of a follow-up to this one that you just answered. All of you are committed to making parents feel welcomed. How do you translate the board, yourself as a board member, your commitment to welcoming parents to the rest of the staff? Many parents feel that the school district employees, from clerical to professional and even principals, do not have a parent-friendly approach. What will you do to improve customer service through the ranks? We could start with Mr. Phillips.
Every employee of the district must know that we're here to serve the district. That means that we must treat people with dignity and respect. That means we must value them, we must partner with them, and that means we must treat them equally, regardless of what their race is, their ethnicity, their primary language, their income, what neighborhood they live in. We're here to serve. And I will say that here and now. I will say that on the board. And I will also say to people, if they can't respect the community, if they don't want to respect the community, then they probably need to look for somewhere else to work.
First of all, I would want to make it clear to the staff that their obligation is to make sure that, or ask themselves the question with every interaction, what am I doing to make this student or this parent successful in what they're trying to do? And that comes down to a district-wide change in culture we need. That every student, every parent, every teacher, every staff person needs to be focused every day on what am I doing to make our students successful. Beyond that, I would want to make sure that, for example, at schools, we don't just post notices about meetings and things inside the school, they get posted outside the schools. A lot of parents don't have the opportunity to go into a school, so I'd like to see those things outside. And beyond that, I would love it if we could do a better job reaching out through newsletters and other parent communications so parents know what's going on at their school.
You know, for the past 12 years, I've administered the Ivy League Connection Scholarship Program. I'm out in our schools on a regular basis. And I got to tell you, there are some schools that I look forward to going to because it's such a pleasure dealing with the staff. But there are other schools, I'd rather not be there. These people need to be retrained, replaced, whatever it takes to change their attitude. And nobody should be treated the way that we get treated at some of our locations in our district. But it starts at the top. The superintendent, the school board, they have got to be able to treat staff, they've got to be able to treat the community, the students, treat them with respect. And so you'd be surprised how it'll be reciprocated once you do that. There has to be some sort of restorative justice with the staff as well. If you get a problem staff member, you need to retrain that person. You need to fix that problem because you cannot let it just perpetuate. And that doesn't do anybody any good because the community members, when they come in there and they're dealing with somebody that they're not getting the respect from, they throw it right back at them. It just escalates on a downward spiral.
Not only respecting the parents, but also respecting the students. I've heard from many parents in my neighborhood of Montalban where they say, I asked them, why did you leave our public school and you went to a charter? Because they were disrespected. The front office secretary ignored them. One of them was heard to say, I wish you people spoke English. You know, that reeks of racism. And so parents say, they don't like me. They don't trust me. Why should I talk to them? So they get up and leave. We need to improve that relationship with the parents. Train the parents, work with the parents as we do in the coalition that I work with in Richmond. Thank you.
I think what we have to first remember that the staff, this is their job, and so we have to have high expectations of their duties, and customer service is one of those expectations. And so I think that we need to make sure that we have adequate training on customer service, how we want the staff to treat the parents. And then once we do that, then we have to attack the other issues, because there's a lot of tension and anger in this district. You know, parents, teachers, staff, and so we have to work on that. We have to, I keep saying this, but we have to work on educating our students, because if students come to school, they're happy, they're having a good time, then parents are happy too. So it's not just, let's see what we can do for these parents. Let's start educating these students so that they want to be at school, they love school. That will go to the parents, and then we can really start everyone getting along. I mean, because that's really what we have to do. We have to work together so that parents feel welcomed, but they will feel welcome if their students are happy, if their children are happy.
Well, I think I would start by holding a series of meetings with our staff with the purpose of reframing the issue. We are service providers. Our schools are not a business. We are a social institution. And parents don't make a choice of our schools the way they choose brand X over brand Y. Choosing a school is a choice that you make as a member of a community. So I would seek to rebuild, rekindle that community spirit, that community feeling, because that is what makes our schools public schools. And like it was stated at the beginning with regards to the League of Women Voters, our public schools are and have been historically the safeguard of our democracy. So we will need to reframe the issue. Our parents are not customers. They own the school. It's their school. Thank you.
I think I might steal a little bit of Mr. Duffy, where he said, you gotta set your values, right? So I think if we let it up to the schools to set up their value, what's their mission with the principals, set the tone right from the beginning at the school board level, understand what's our value for us for educating students? How are we gonna treat the parents? So we start at the top and bring it down. What's the tone at the schools? We know each school has a different community. Each school has their different demographics. What are the needs? Are we hiring personal staff that understand the language, that understand the needs of each of the parents? Most of these staff members are there to help and want to help, but as parents, we also have to understand we need to extend our hand to help. We can't just demand. And I noticed it because I used to just continually help the community worker, and I would leave out the clerk and the secretary. So one day I was like, hey, what do you guys need? Let me help out. With open arms, they just said, we just need help making visitor pass. From now on, you can be open about it. But it's just how do we treat them with respect as parents, and that's how they will treat us with respect. We can't just demand and not also put in our part as a parent.
Thank you. For this question, you will get 30 seconds. What is the one thing that works well in the school district that you will ensure continues on the right track?
I think the middle college high works really well. I'm impressed by the results that come out of there. I love the way the kids get the AP classes there. The teacher's motivated. Obviously, the kids are in a great environment to understand what they're going to be in next. So I think that's something that would be very important to me to maintain and improve that.
continue the most successful program in the history of our school district, the Ivy League Connection. We've changed lives. It expands the college-going culture in our district. We've awarded 326 scholarships over the past 12 years. We've affected thousands of lives. As to the percentage of our graduating seniors that have matriculated to college since the beginning of the program has gone from 47% to 82%. That's a metric you can measure. That deserves a sustainability. It means that the district and the community needs to stand behind it because it does make a difference.
Most of our students attend the local community college, and I see in the local community college a greater emphasis on drawing in some of our students. Let me give you an example. We had a large class in the criminal justice or justice program, Law and Justice, at Richmond High about a year and a half ago. Almost the entire class went to Contra Costa College and they joined their academy there, and they're still there getting A's, doing incredibly well, and they haven't missed class because it drew attention to what they wanted to do. Thank you.
I think the concurrent enrollment program is doing well. I'd like to see more emphasis on that program to make sure that every school knows specifically how old a student can be to be a part of the concurrent enrollment. And so right now, you can be in the 4th grade and start doing classes over at Contra Costa. And so if we can make sure that every school, especially the high schools, know what classes they can take,
Okay, 30 seconds. I would like to see more direct involvement with the cities. I was very impressed when I visited, I have visited a couple of the community schools, community centers that we have, and I see that as a really, really good opportunity to bring that community spirit that will make our parents really feel like what they do, that they do own our schools.
I think that was a tough question. I tried thinking as hard as I could. There's plenty of programs that work well with schools, but district-wide, I couldn't think of one. I know we have high school levels academies, but as a parent, I barely found out about that. So it's struggled to see how do we communicate so many group programs that are working within different school sites families are aware to be participants of. But in all honesty, I know that there's schools that are working best, that they have their programs, they're going good. But district-wide, it was difficult for me as a parent to say, you know, what's working well for our district. And I think we need to work on that.
Quiet is kept. We have several extremely high-performing schools in this district, and people don't talk about that. And Kensington is one of them, Madera is one of them, Melinda is one of them. There are high-performing schools in this district, and the things that are working in those schools, we need to replicate those things. So that's what's happening. We do have some good schools here, some really good schools, and they have things going on that are working, and they need to be replicated.
So we're at the end of our time, and the next is your closing statement. So we'll start with Mr. Gosney.
Thank you.
Oh, you get 1 minute and a half.
Thank you. 5 Gates Millennium Scholarships, 1 Fulbright Scholarship, more than 24 National Merit Scholarship semifinalists. What do these people have in common? Most of them passed through the Ivy League Connection Scholarship Program. Harvard, Yale, Duke, Chicago, Northwestern, Cornell, Brown, Columbia, Rice, USC, Stanford. What do these schools have in common? Ivy League Connection students have been going to their schools as well. Seeing a common thread here? The Ivy League Connection. That's a program I've been administering for the past 12 years. It is a successful program. It has changed the college-going culture in our school district. Quite literally, we have changed lives, thousands of lives. Even the kids that did not get the scholarships, their lives have been changed just by, guilt by association, as they say. One of the big problems of going to college is not just getting into highly selective universities like these, but finding a way to pay for them. Our students have received, conservatively, at least $6 million in financial aid to be able to go to these schools. That is something to be proud of. That's just at highly selective universities. And so I want to make sure that we bridge these divides in our community, that we speak to our teachers and administrators to stop the exodus there, because they are the greatest source of information that we have. But also we need a pragmatic voice on the school board. And one thing that really concerns me is special interest groups that are trying to buy this election right now. I advise everybody follow the money and find out what it is that is causing hundreds of thousands of dollars being used to spend to try to get some of their candidates elected.
When I was in the school board back in 2008, we were questioning why so many of our students were not able to pass the English exam at Contra Costa College, also the math exams. And so we formed a committee, and I was chair of it, where we talked to Contra Costa College and asked them, what do you expect on your exam so you can place students in English and math and science? Trying to get them both to talk to each other is almost an impossible task. They never talk to the high schools. So you get a student graduating, with A's in math, goes to the college, takes the entrance exam, and find out that they're in a different class. We need to do a better job with that. Obviously, school culture, obviously our great health programs at all of our schools. Integrate the parents, bring the parents in. Don't be afraid to go out to the community as I did when I was on the school board and talk to parents. Sometimes you have to meet them at nighttime or in the evening because 9 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, not all of them can make it. So thank you.
I'm sorry. So, I graduated from Pinole Valley High School, and, the thing is, I know that this district can be turned around. Like I said, I'm a parent. I've been here. I went to Montalva Manor School in first grade, then I went to Margaret Collins, and then I went to Pinole Junior. Went to Pinole Valley. This is my community. And I want to see some changes, not just as a school board member, but also as a parent, because I want to make sure that my kids have the education they need to be successful. And that's what I want to ensure for all the children in this district. I want to make sure that they are all educated with math, science, and the arts. But it doesn't matter if you're going to be a lawyer or you're going to be a plumber. You still need math, science, and art. So we need to educate all of our students, not just in one group. I bring a certain geographical diversity as well, because I am from Hercules. I live in Hercules, I work in Pinole, and my kids play sports in El Sobrante. We need this side of the district to be a part of the table as well. And so I bring all of those connections from the community. I'm ready to work with the city of Pinole, the city of Hercules, El Sobrante, to make sure that all of our voices are heard as well. Because once the entire district is doing well, then these people on this side, Hercules and Pinole and El Cerrito, when we're getting the resources we need, that will help this whole district to be brought up to a whole new level, and that is what I'm going to do. Thank you.
I'm running for the school board and I'm asking for your vote because I can provide the district-wide vision that we need. We have many interests competing with each other, and the result is that we are unable to have our different programs realize their potential and hurting our students because we are preventing our students also from reaching their full potential. Educating our children is a community effort. Teachers, parents, elected officials, community, we all need to work together toward that objective of achieving excellence for our children's education. I am driven by a strong desire to see our students succeed, and I know that the formula is simple, it's easy. We need to let our teachers teach. We need to support our public education, our adult education program. We need to strengthen our neighborhood schools, and we need to face squarely and decisively the challenge presented by the charter school encroachment. Thank you very much.
7 years I've been involved within the schools. The first 5 years were very difficult. I was discouraged a lot of participating more in the all-district committees, but I kept pushing forward. Luckily, we have a principal now that's working, I guess, passionately to fix our school. But being involved for the past 7 years, I've gotten to know central staff. I've gotten to know parents of different schools across all the multiple cities that encompass the West Contra Costa. I've gotten to know most of the school community outreach workers. I've gotten to know plenty of teachers because of the committees I attend. I've gotten to most of the principals that work. And I understand the needs that they have within each different school. And it's something I'm going to continue to work on how we form the relationships to better the education of the school that we have. We need to focus on the needs of these students, not on all these interest groups or whatever is going on within the district. There's so many issues around the district, but we need to start focusing on the needs of educating and providing services that will fulfill the potential of each student within the schools. I'm a parent. I've been getting my hands dirty for the past 7 years, and I won't continue to stop until we start seeing differences within this district. Thank you.
My family's been in West County for 5 generations now. The first one of us to attend school in this district, those are my kids in the back, just begging. The first one of us to attend school in this district is actually my grandmother. And the most recent is my daughter, who's in the 1st grade. Now, I say that to you all because this is my home. And I want you to know it's my home, and I want you to know that I'm invested in this community. And I'm going to be here. We've been here for 5 generations now. But I want to talk to you also about my experience. I served on the first 5 Contra Costa Children and Families Commission, making sure that we were getting our children ready for kindergarten. I also had the opportunity to co-chair the Richmond Promise Scholarship Committee, where I fought to make sure that all children were able to receive scholarships in the city of Richmond. In addition to that, I've worked as a teacher in this district, in West Contra Costa Unified. I've also worked in San Francisco Unified as a teacher. In addition to that, I worked as a teacher assistant in Fairfield-Sassoon Unified with a special needs child. So I know public education. I know it as an employee, I know it as a student, and I know it as a parent. And I want to let you know one thing. I believe very strongly that when you're talking about leadership, you're also talking about trust. And you need to be able to trust the individuals on the board. And believe this now, and I'll say it loud. When I say something to you, you can take it to the bank. Thank you.
I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters again for holding this forum tonight. You know, I live and breathe this community. I've lived here for more than 40 years. I've been such a force for positive change in my community that I went on the Wall of Fame, but it isn't just in my community where I've been well known. I work in a lot of different community organizations, such as the Richmond Emergency Food Pantry. I've been involved at the Latina Center. I've been involved at the Rise Center. I've been involved at Healthy Richmond. I'm really committed to our entire community, to the whole district. I think we have a rare opportunity here to push forward with our new superintendent. I've been working now with the Black Minds Matter strategy team. I've been working with the West County Parents Group at the Latina Center. And I'll just say again, every child deserves a great school. We need to make sure that we have great academic achievement at each school. Every student comes out ready for college, ready for a career, ready for more technical education. We need to do a better job supporting our teachers, our parents, our students. We need a responsive, open, and transparent district financially and with the parents and our teachers and our students, and we need safe schools. So it's a problem that requires a solution by our entire community. I want to be part of the community that solves that problem. Please vote for me.
Thank you. We do have very limited time due to the filming and the televising of this event. I want to thank each and every one of the candidates. Thank you for stepping up and running for school board. Our democracy is very important to the League of Women Voters and wide participation. So thank you for participating in this forum. I also want to thank the participants in the audience tonight and for submitting some questions. I want to thank the League of Women Voters, the West Contra Costa Unified School District for making this facility available to us tonight, the Contra Costa TV, and the Contra Costa Register of Voters. Please remember to vote on November 8th. Or submit your absentee ballot early. So thank you again and have a good night.
Gracias, gracias.